not the whole tree, is set up automatically on first start. And nothing to do, no ramp ups anymore. They will find their name and they will find the orange icon. They will know this is where I work, and they will potentially not even try to get anything further, which is good. Yeah, so that's really a big step forward to avoid any messed up trees. Finish editing, same thing. Yeah, that is now an automated action. Updating parent objects when starting editing is something where no questions are asked anymore. Yeah, it checks out what it needs to keep the structure up to date and consistent. So and that belongs together. Yeah, like so there was a chat again.
Yeah, sorry, that was me. I just realized I'm
Hi,
not
Doug.
on mute. Hey, so I've done this with a couple of clients recently, and I noticed it doesn't create a local content folder anymore.
Yes, finally. It's good, right?
No. No, because I like to get them to practice and explain to them, hey, this is only on your PC. You're not going to mess anything up. And now it's not there.
What you still, I don't know if
Yeah.
that's still possible.
Yeah, you can do that, but it will create it in root. And then you've got to drag it out of root to somewhere else. So yeah, I'm not a fan of that. I miss that.
But yeah,
and I didn't know if it was
right.
deliberate.
It doesn't do that anymore automatically if there is an assignment in place. You are right.
Right. Okay.
So no, the only chance is starting here and creating it from here, and then creating a shortcut manually. Yeah. So this is just hen and egg. Huh?
Yep.
You have to, in Germany, that is saying you have to die one death. Choose yours.
Okay, I guess this is it then.
Yeah. We will not have 52 content folders in unsorted anymore, which is the good part of it. But the local sandpit, the local playground, is something that you have to create manually from now on. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Good to know. Thank you.
Good. So, but yeah, if you follow the regular approach, and as Dirk just said, yeah, local sandbox is not available anymore. That easy at least. Then it's a good step forward in keeping the tree consistent and clean.
Mike, just a quick question.
Yes, please.
You got rid of the checkbox when a user is closing the producer.
That happens automatically, yeah.
Yeah, but you still get the, at least for me, it's the case that I always get the information. You still have some write tokens left. Do you want to finish editing it? Do you want to save it to the server? Do you want to just close the producer? And in the past, there was a checkbox that if I use as an author the option to finish editing, remember that option. This checkbox.
Yeah. Are you sure that this is updated? Because that shouldn't be displayed at all anymore now. Except you got pinned objects.
No, I do
if you got pinned anywhere, yeah. If that's the case, that's a different story.
No, it's just
then
like,
it's asking.
Yeah, it's the same like yours. So I just edited something. I will close the producer, and it will always ask me.
Okay, that's bizarre. Let's have a look at this, but it shouldn't be the case anymore.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. At least to my understanding. Yeah. All right. Extended configuration. Woo, new password security. Blah blah blah. I don't know. Yeah, there's new switches. And analytics and reports. There is again a big one. Drill downs are now finally possible for all the.
Hello.
Hey, Jen. Now we hear you.
Oh, terrific. Okay, thank you. Sorry to disturb. Before you start in reports, can I go back to my question that it was?
What was the question? Have you posted
it? It was around Web Assistant for Desktop Assistant.
Web Assistant for Desktop Assistant, for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
So these link tiles for context help and push help for context help, this isn't yet for the Web Assistant though. It's only if I'm using the Desktop Assistant and the Web Assistant.
That was in Web Assistant since ever. We had link tiles since the very first release. Yeah, but that link tile section wasn't available in Web Assistant mode. for desktop assistant.
The link
now
tiles.
Yes.
That's true. But the push help, the fact that in desktop assistant, you can have a bubble standing on the screen when you open it, or you can have 5 bubbles standing on the screen when you open it.
Yeah.
Does that work for desktop, for web assistant?
Yes. Push help.
More than for one.
That's the regular feature set. But it's how they call it there. Let me see.
No, because it's only if you hover over it or if you click on the question mark that you're going to see help.
If you add a link tile, for instance, and you make the link tile become.
No, let's not do a link tile. Let's do a text tile, because in desktop assistant, I don't even have to turn on. I don't even have to click on the light bulb for the desktop assistant. If I want something to appear on the screen, it's going to appear. It's really push help.
The announcement is gone. I just realized. The big deal for next release 22.05 will be push help overall. Yeah, everything can be somehow pushed and stuff. That will be the big deal. But for now, it's announcement, right? So show as announcement. And the announcement functionality was missing in desktop assistant and web assistant mode. There was no such thing. And all the push helps, the permanent visible one, force display is the feature in desktop assistant, how they called it. The force display was fully ignored. Yeah, in that skin, it just didn't do nothing. And this is what has changed. This is working now. Okay. Yeah, and for all the fancy push help stuff, we're gonna talk again May next year. Yeah, this will be the big deal in terms of push help.
Okay, great, thanks.
Bon, okay, there we go. And then we got drill downs. In the context of the reports, just an announcement. Right now, it's just hard to demo, right? Yeah, because we have no tenant where we have proper data for the tracking. Yeah, so it's always like ABC 123 data, yeah, or it's your own data on your own tenant or the customer's tenant. Yeah, but you just have to be a little mature to really have data in there to be able to discuss what the benefits are. In this context, just side story. Development is currently working on script-based generation of test data for the reports. And in this context, we're going to have soon a tenant that you all will have access to, where we have proper simulated consumption data in it to be able to play with the reports in a meaningful manner. Okay, this will happen soon. Right now, it's just a hard thing to discuss because there is no data. And if you want to report something and there's no data, you just talk about it, and that's not as tangible as it would be if you see it. Especially when talking about drill downs, I mean, you would expect drill downs basically everywhere. Click and go one level deeper in more detail, and there certain things were missing. Now we got drill downs for the playback of guided tours, yeah, so going down to the single individual potentially, and especially for the dropouts, not knowing, okay, that was the major dropout, like step 5 of guided tour X. But you can see, okay, Mr. Miller from sales department dropped out yesterday at 5. This is how far you can go, but to really present that, you need to generate data before, but this will be not a never-ending story. This will change very soon. And as soon as we got this tenant in place, I will take care that you all get access to it. But now drill downs are done, and the finalization of the reports is on the roadmap as a mandatory feature for 22.05 as well. Yeah, so if there are still gaps concerning the drill downs, I don't know by heart to 100%, but in fact, everything will be drill downable, if that's a correct word in English, I don't know, to the full extent, the latest next year in May. Column selection, okay, yeah, was also a missing feature to be able to sort column bys, etc. Considered as missing, but that one is a big deal. Yeah, that was really annoying that we had a report called delivery channels, but one of the mainly used ones still was missing, which is the library. That's now changed. Yeah, so now we finally got here in the delivery channel report also trainer in, which means everything that is tracked by trainer is taken into consideration in this comparison. In my case, I have no tracking data. Yeah, that's the pity, right? I just switched it on for Web Assistant yesterday and played around, so I have 18 hits only. Yeah, that's the issue with the demonstration of this. But you see here, trainer is in. Okay, good one. The reason why this is now possible is that they all track based on the same engine. Yeah, desktop assistant did it since ever. Web assistant did it since ever. Trainer didn't. There was a native tracking method for everything that came from trainer, which means learner view, library, and direct accesses, direct links. They were tracked, or they were just written into a different table in the database, let's say. And now, since this release, all of the tracking data go into the tin can store. So we internally speak tin can. Take care, yeah. Don't overrate this. That doesn't mean that we from now on can import any fancy tin can content or something. We're still not an LMS, but we are speaking the same language, yeah, for a reason, because the tin can data model simply makes sense for that purpose. However, this is working now. What I am not aware of, and maybe one of you can answer that question because I don't know, is whether they are actually converting tracking data, tin can tracking data, from the old scheme into tin can, and whether that report contains historical data. I just missed the chance to test that. I don't know. Yeah, if one of you already got experience, share your knowledge, please. Otherwise, this is something that we need to figure out. I don't know whether historical data would still be taken into consideration from that point in time on or not. If not, we just have to discuss whether this is going to be possible someday or not. But from now on, everything is very consistent, which means first, we can really measure the usage of the single delivery channels, not only for the performance support related ones, we can compare them properly, at least for any data which is gathered from now on into the future. And what other thing does that mean? That means that the older reports, user and lesson, can be decommissioned and replaced with more fancy and more usable ones coming with the same standard than the new ones as well. Yeah, so you can actually count on the fact that those 6 guys will sooner or later be either consolidated or removed and replaced with new ones. Goody. Then we got known issues. That's already basically the end of the news. We got still the timeout issue in place if IE is still used. Yeah, so for Internet Explorer users, you still potentially would have to ask the customer IT to increase that particular registry entry, to increase the timeout threshold. That is still unsolved, and there is still not another workaround than increasing that locally via registry. In the tracking, just where we came from, in certain languages, let's have a look which ones they are. I believe it's Hungarian and another one, where we got some encoding issues with the reporting. Reports do not show any data right now. The data is there, but where is it? Not tracking data. In case you set the language field as filter. Okay, whatever that means. Yeah, so there are issues, but it's basically explained here. But I don't get actually which languages they mean. Yeah, but I have in the back of my mind that it's about Hungarian and one other Eastern European language. But however, yeah, so this is still an issue, but it's about to be solved. This is just a remark that there is still some deltas between the behavior of web assistant mode and the old desktop assistant. Yeah, the list becomes shorter and shorter, as you've seen earlier, but there are still some things that were possible before, for instance, opening the recorder from web assistant and stuff, which is not possible in web assistant skin yet. This is a subject to change in one of the next releases. And unfortunately, the issue that we got with the producer solution manager interface, which is kind of